Hey, sweet Sherry, won't you come along with me? We'll ride down out south of town where nobody else will be. We'll head to the river where the raiders made their getaway, and we'll wade in up to our shins without spilling our Beaujolais. Oh, my darling, don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing my feet were dry. Now there's spirits on the creek bank, they all want some wine. We'll share a lick with an old beatnik, waiting for the stars to shine. A little taste of heaven, but heaven is so small. The other side seems big and wide when you're told you could have it all. Oh, my darling, don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing I weren't so high. Oh, my darling, don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing my feet were dry. Don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing I weren't so high. Now the harvest moon is dangling like an orange in the sky. I'll uproot my muddy boots and then we'll have to say goodbye. I love you, pretty baby, but there's something you should know. There's a staying kind and a praying kind, and the good ones always go. Oh, my darling, don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing my feet were dry. Oh, my darling, don't ask the reason why I'm standing knee-deep in the Wakarusa River, wishing I weren't so high.
When I first got the gig as musical director or supervisor and arranger for a $1 Million Quartet, I had no idea what I was doing. It was I got a call from Colin Escott, the author, who's a friend of mine and is a great music writer for years and years, and roots music aficionado. He's like, "You ever thought about working in the musical theater?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really." And he said, "Well, I've written this thing about, you know, the one and only time that Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash were together at Sun Records. And Sam Phillips called it the $1 Million Quartet, and they took a publicity photo. It's very iconic. And he had written a musical play about that. And you know, the problem that I have with a lot of musicals is that people break into song out of the blue. You know, they're in a garden and talking, all of a sudden it's like, the hills run, and which is fine, you know, because I dig musical theater. But in this context, it made sense for people to break into song. They have instruments and it's a jam session and you get to be like a little fly on the wall. And so when I read the script, I got that and I'm like, well, you know, that's Rockabilly 101. I can do that. That's my meat and potatoes. Hank Williams and Carl Perkins, and Elvis, those are the guys, you know. Sure, I'm a hillbilly singer. I'm proud of it, right? That's what I do. But now I have this other chop, and it made me think that, you know, you can do anything if you know, try something else out that's artistic, you know.
It was a quiet, misty, early summer morning in the 3rd year of the war. Everything in town was in the same place it was left the night before. Well, them sleeping town folk never knew there were men who were burning the saddle all night just to bring them a barbecue. Riding like hell with a devil by their side. Well, the leader of the horde, he held a grudge 'cause they had put his girl in jail. His second in command was known to drape himself in Yankee ponytails. Oh, over 300 men strong, and most of them wanted to get while they could get it, 'cause you know you don't live that long. Riding like hell with a devil by his side. In a screaming horde, they swarmed on down, killed the men and burned the town. They lit it all alight in flames. The widows were calling their husbands' names. Over 150 dead. The raiders just laughed at the bloodshed. They were riding like hell with a devil by their side. Almost. Well, through the smoke, you could hear the shrieks and moans. Bodies all lying on the curbstone. Some men hid in the cornfield. One used an old rug for a shield. Murder and chaos in their wake. They took everything that they could take. They were riding like hell with a devil by their side. Well, the people who were spared, they built the town back from the ashes it had been. And we won the war, and there was peace for the first time since I don't know when. But a few of them raiders went pro, and they were still robbing Yankee banks and trains in 1874. Riding like hell with a devil by their side. They were riding like hell with a devil by their side.
In the musical theater, where, you know, it's a series of songs that tie a story together, where all the elements are put together to make like a concept. For my new record, Free State Serenade, I kind of took elements from that to make a record. I didn't want to make like, you know, Dark Side of the Moon or something. But it is slightly conceptual because it's all these songs about Kansas and me growing up. But they're all individual little stories. They're just like little short stories, you know, like country songs are. And so yeah, it did influence the way that I thought about my next record. You know, it's influencing me about the next thing I'm going to do too, because it's an overwhelming. You know, one day I'm, you know, some schmuck playing on Lower Broadway for tips. The next thing I know, we're traveling all around the world, and the next thing, you know, we're at the Grammys. You know, wow. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting at the Tony Awards, and I'm looking around going, how did I get here? And it's just incredibly lucky. But I like to think that I worked pretty hard at the same time. But you just kind of have to take advantage of these little gifts that are given to you to expand what you do.
She remembers dark times, so dark she can't breathe, but she suffered through them all with country dignity. Now she don't mind